Hello guys, it's David here, and today I'm bringing you an Ironman bank video. Now, in this video I'm going to go over my levels, my total XP, XP per hour, and of course my bank. With my bank I'm also going to give a GP estimate of its worth based on the mid-G price. And yeah, so I hope you enjoy this bank video. Now, this is actually the second time I've tried recording this video. The first one was over 30 minutes long, and after watching it back I decided to record it all over again. It really wasn't very good. So some of the items and levels are different from where I left off. It was supposed to be just after episode 21 of my Ironman Challenge series, and now it's part way through episode 22 instead. So, spoiler alert, I got 92 wood cutting by cutting teak trees using an augmented crystal hatchet, which looks awesome by the way. So let's go over my levels first. Let's have a look. Here they are. So the standout levels are obviously woodcutting, fletching and divination at 92, 91 and 90. And at the other end of the scale we've got runecrafting at level 67. Now runecrafting's rather strange really. It's probably one of the only skills that I just cannot motivate myself to do. It requires so much effort because I don't particularly want to go sit in the rune span for hours on end. That's not the sort of thing that I like to do. I like to get resources and that sort of thing. So I'd actually want to be running runes, which is now actually reasonably efficient with the demonic skull through the abyss, but it still it's quite click intensive. You can't really look away, that sort of thing. So it's something that I've sort of had benched for a while. I've got 20,000 essence to use at some point. It's just I need to get it done, so I need to motivate myself to do that at some point. So yeah, that's pretty much all the outstanding levels. Nothing particularly to look at. In my next bank video I'm probably going to compare now and then, but you know, for now this is what I've got. Now my total XP is 76,258,634, which yeah, it's not really that bad as total XP goes. I mean, I've only got 64 days and 18 hours, which is 1,554 hours, which makes me wonder when I looked that statistic up. It's just like, what am I actually doing with my time? Like, seriously. My overall XP an hour is just over 49,000, like 49,070 or something. And it really doesn't sound that good, but you need to take into account that I did pretty much all the quests. I mean, I've only got one quest point off max at the moment. I've done a reasonable amount of mini games, and I've also done quite a lot of AFKing. I've done elder trees for quite a while. I did iron one smithing at the artisan's workshop for quite a while. That sort of thing, and that's really, really slow. So yeah, when you put it like that, it doesn't really sound that bad. Right, so that's pretty much everything for my skills. So let's have a look at my bank. So sorry if everything is a little bit untidy. I tried to organise it best I could, but yeah, it gets untidy very, very quickly. So first things first, let's go over the sort of everything tab. It's got miscellaneous items in random unicorn horns and isolated boots, that sort of thing. Nothing of value, and the tab is only worth 117,649 GP. Bear in mind these prices are correct as of the 12th of March 2016, which is when I got the price data for everything. I looked everything up, that sort of thing. Took a while actually. So the second tab, my second tab is probably my favourite tab because it contains lots and lots and lots of resources, like 12,000 teak logs. They're worth 1.9 million. 54,000 maple logs, which is 1.6 million. You know, it's things like this which they just add up like so quickly. I've also got like mahogany planks that's worth 2.8 million, and yeah, I've got raw swordfish, which is actually worth a surprising amount, and raw monkfish, which is worth an even more surprising amount of 6.9 million. I'll tell you what really is surprising. This amount of kelp is worth 1.4 million. 1,170 kelp, 1.4 million coins. So in the minerals bit, I've got my unprocessed, and that's generally how I organise things by the way. I have unprocessed, processed, unprocessed, processed, and just go through different categories. So I've got unprocessed logs, planks, that sort of thing, and fletching. And I've got raw fish, cooked fish, minerals, bars, uncut gems, cut gems, and etc, etc. So in the minerals bit I have got this coal and this rune, which is worth 6.6 million and 2 million respectively. Something else which is worth really quite a lot of money in this tab are these three energies right here, the lustrous, brilliant and radiant energies. The lustrous energy is worth 8.2 million, the brilliant energy is 1.9 million, and the radiant energy is 6.3 million, which, you know, just that is something like 15 million or something. I can't do maths off the top of my head, but hey. This entire tab is worth 57,239,747 coins. That's a huge amount of money. Tab 3 is another reasonably big tab as well. This is my herblore tab, just in case you couldn't gather by all the supplies and the potions and the herbs and things. And again, what I like to do is the grimy, then I do the clean, and then I do the unfinished potions, then the secondaries, and then the finished potions with a few miscellaneous things lying around at the end, which I've been using recently. A few of the bigger things in this tab are the clean aventos. They are 2.7 million coins worth of clean aventos. It's quite good. And qualm and cantadine potions are both 1 million, which is, you know, insane. You know, it's just a casual 1 million added to my account. And then, of course, the 4.3 million coins in crushed nests. The rest of the value is in the finished potions, obviously. I've got 1.7 million for the prayer, 1.6 million for the super attack, 1.9 million for the super strength, and 1.8 million for the super ranging potions. And this entire tab comes to 21,667,229 GP, which again is a lot of money. Now, tab 4 is my farming tab. I've got placeholders for basically every seed that you need. I haven't got torsal seeds. I have got torsal seeds, ignore that. So I've got things for basically everything. I haven't got grapevine seeds, that sort of thing. That's something I haven't got. And the main value of this tab is in the magic seeds and, of course, the saplings. I've decided to include the saplings because I think it's just an arbitrary decision that the JMods haven't decided to include the ability to trade saplings. Like, you can trade them on old school, and I don't quite understand why you can't trade them on RS3. But hey, so I've included them in this price thing, but whatever, if it's not, then subtract like 5 mil from the final product, and that's it, pretty much. So yeah, this tab, including the saplings, is worth 8,208,486 GP. Tab 5, here is my magic tab, and teleports, and runecrafting, and that sort of thing. And here's the 20,000 pure essence that I was talking about. And yeah, the main thing here is the astral runes and the death runes, which are worth 1 million coins each. And yeah, nothing particularly interesting here, but the total value of this tab is 5,555,264 GP. On to tab 6. Here we have my summoning tab. This is probably the smallest tab that I have in its entirety. I've started stocking up on yak hides, you know, just for that time that I eventually get 20 levels in summoning and get up to yaks. But until then, I can keep it a nice stable what it is. And there are two things that are worth a decent amount of money in this tab. There are the spirit shards and the bunyips. The spirit shards are worth 1.4 million coins, as they are, and the bunyips are worth a surprising amount of 1.1 million as well. I mean, you look at it and you just completely glance over it and you completely miss the bunyips, so that's a hidden 1.1 million again. This is the smallest tab I have in monetary value at only 3,550,988 GP. Now, tab 7 was probably my most difficult tab to organise in my entire bank. This is my gear tab, and because it's my gear tab, I'm sure it will go back to looking horrendous very, very shortly after this video. But for now, at least it's looking nice, and I've got my sets. I've got my Black Dragon hide with Ava's Alerter and Kurask boots and Crystal set, you know, War Priest, that sort of thing. And it's very nice with all my little archery stuff. Now, the main things that are worth, you know, a lot of money here are the Ghostly Essence, which is worth 2.2 million coins, and of course the Carol's skirt, which is 2 million, and the Darrock's plate legs, which is 1.4 million. The total value for this tab is 9,870,107 GP, which is actually a decent amount for something that doesn't particularly pop out lots of high value items. Now, as we move on to tab 8, this is my sort of loot slash alking tab. So I put things like moleskins in, and I put things in like rune arrows, any rune items that I have. I've cleared it out fairly recently, which is why there's basically nothing in here, but still, yeah, and that's symbolised of course by a staff of fire to help me alch things. And yeah, so the moleskins themselves are worth 3.9 million coins, which is 615 moleskins and for 106 kills, I believe. So yeah, that's quite a lot. The total value of this tab is 6,893,981 GP, which, when you look at the amount of items in the tab, is actually surprisingly high. And here we are, the big one, tab 9. This is my trophy or clue scroll tab. So I've got 2 or more of every single item that I'm going to need for remote clues for hard clue scrolls, which makes life so much easier. I just run to a bank, collect it, pick it up, run off. And yeah, so that's very good. And of course I've got all the rewards, all the unique rewards, that is, of clue scrolls that I've got. So I've got things like puzzle skipping tickets, I've got the rune plate body and helm G, that sort of thing, and of course I've got a top hat. And the main thing that stands out in this tab, just in case you hadn't noticed it or remembered it or whatever, is of course my shadow die, which I got on something like my 6th elite clue, which is worth 791 million coins in mid-price Grand Exchange. It might well be more than that, and the price just isn't rising fast enough. But yeah, as it is, this tab is worth 801,424,414 GP, which is pretty insane. So I've gone through all the tabs, and it's now time for the final tally up. Altogether, the items in the bank and the money in my money pouch, which is about 2.1 million, are currently sort of collectively worth 916,444,776 GP, which is an insane amount of money, and I'm sure that must put me in the top 1% of Ironman. It must do. The surprising thing for me is that I've got an extra, well, over 100 million on top of the value of the shadow die, which is pretty cool, and mainly down to these 2 tabs here, but even so, is still pretty cool. So, thank you very much for watching. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already, and I hope to see you next time. Goodbye.